Wow, hey, pura vida, mi gente. Much love and respect. Shabbat Shalom. Hope you're having a blessed Shabbat, blessed day. Thanks for tuning in once again. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to do that every time. I was trying to give a little bit of time for others to join, but we're gonna get started. All right. Thanks again for being here. We're gonna get into a bit of the history of who Silas Jefferson is. A lot of people don't know him. You know, I know a lot of you know who Silas Jefferson is, or have seen some videos or some articles here and there, some memes or images on the internet with him. Creek Indian chief. And I know a lot of the people in the what we're calling the the Aboriginal community and this YouTube community in the U.S. Use him a lot and like, look, this is what a real Indian looks like. So today, today's point is not to prove he's an Indian, because we don't need to prove that. That's already a fact that he has a lot of indigenous blood, and he comes from a lot of prestigious indigenous people in that nation. The Muskogee speaking people, right? So-called Creeks, so-called. So that's not what we're proving. What I hope you guys can pick up from today is, again, what I be trying to say all the time is that we gotta kind of like understand that genealogy is very complex. Every individual has a story to tell. Every individual has 64 fourth great grandfathers, right? Do you guys know all 64 of your great grandfathers? So now, does anybody know why Silas is named Jefferson? Anybody looked into it? So let's just get started. We got a good amount of people, I think. So I just, once again, we're on episode 18 today of Genealogical Stories. All right. So if you haven't checked out the series, or if you haven't seen some of the episodes previous to this one, we got Michael Jackson, we got Tupac, Sarah Rector, Jabari, W.E.B. Du Bois, a lot, Jay-Z, Beyonce, we got John Wick himself, Keanu Reeves, LeBron James, James Brown. We got 2 episodes of Chris Brown. We're gonna have a third one on his maternal side, which I'm literally almost done. I just wanted to make sure I didn't hurry and found as much as I can. And we did Thomas Jefferson the other day, and what a coincidence. You guys will see what I mean. We just did this the other day. I didn't know it was really, I never really looked into it. Somebody, for some reason, I don't know if they knew or something. I think I saw this on an Instagram message. They sent me a video of Silas Jefferson, and it's just a video with images. There's no real sources, and it's text and his image, and saying he's full blood Indian, and full blood Indian. A real quick video, about a minute long, 2 minutes, and that's about it. No real context, no real sources. So, I was like, you know what? Let me do his genealogy. I never even sat down to do it, even think about it. I was already, um, actually, I was thinking about doing it, but I hadn't started it. I never really actually did it, and it was not that hard, really, to Google some information. And what you get is basic information. You get a lot of random websites. You don't get real, like, well, you get your real websites. So you get the same image and same stories. What I'm trying to say. So, just for example, blackpast.org, Silas Jefferson, right? Silas Jefferson, also known as Ho-tul-ko-micco, Wind Clan chief, was born in 1835 at Tuskegee town, or Tuskegee, in the Old Creek Nation. His parents were Betsy and Jeffrey Macnock. All right, so right there I already got a lead, right? I was like, okay, so that's his parents' names. Okay, we'll see. This is before I even had the tree start. I'm like, okay, so those are his parents, supposedly. So Jefferson emigrated with his parents to the Creek lands in the Indian Territory in 1838. He enlisted in the 1st Indian Home Guard Regiment during the Civil War, and after the war became very involved in politics. He served several terms in the Creek House of Warriors, representing Tuskegee Town. He also served terms in the Creek House of Warriors, representing Tuskegee Town. He also served, sorry, I don't know if I repeated something. He also served the one Chief Loca Hacho's advisors, Creek Chief from 1875, 1876, impeached. He was impeached and removed from office in 1876 by the Creek Council, and was also close to Chief Ispar Hecher, Creek Chief 1895 to 1899. In 1879, Jefferson ran as candidate for second chief of the Loyal Party ticket with Isparehecher, but the two candidates dropped out of the race after the Loyal Party withdrew from electoral politics and set up their own government at Nukuya Town, west of Okmulgee. During the Green Peach War, 1882 to 1883, Silas Jefferson abandoned the Loyal Party after Isparehecher advised his followers to take up arms against the Creek's constitutional government. After the outbreaks that summer, he worked diligently to bring the warring factions together. He remained involved in Creek politics until tribal dissolution in 1906. He also served as one of the principal informants regarding Creek culture and religion for anthropologists John Swanton and Frank Speck when they were collecting information on Creek life for the Smithsonian Institute in the early 20th century. Silas Jefferson died in 1913 or 1914 near Beggs, Oklahoma. Okay, so again, just a little brief history. Move on to another page here. Let me just check out the chat. Shout out to everybody in the chat, in the live chat. Yeah, because we did this live. Thanks for tuning in. All right. So here we are at nativeoklahoma.us. Native Oklahoma magazine. It says Ho-tul-ko-micco, or Silas Jefferson, chief of the whirlwind. Yeah, they show these guys, right? And that's Silas right here. Zoom in again. All right. Silas Jefferson, right? Okay, back up. Well, back, zoom in again, actually. In celebration of Black History Month, Dodge the hijack. He ain't black. His ancestors didn't call themselves black. We take a closer look at Silas Jefferson, featured in these photos from the Gilcrease collection. Right? If you want to look it up, Gilcrease collection, Silas Jefferson was a Muskogee freedman and prominent figure in his community. Muskogee freedmen include both mixed blood Black and Muskogee people and formerly enslaved African Americans. And so it's a bunch of like babbling here going on and tags, and that doesn't describe their genealogy. None of this stuff here, guys. This is narrated with a misconception. This is narrated with false West African slave. All blacks are slaves from West Africa, and that all Europeans are so-called white or pale skin. That's what they base this statement off. So that doesn't describe Mr. Silas Jefferson at all. All right, we're just getting started. So just you'll see what I mean. You know, it's more complex than that. Also known by his Muskogee name, and this is how they spelled it here. But we got the Ho-tul-ko-micco, Ho-tul-ko-micco, right? Jefferson was born in 1835 in Tuskegee Tribal Town, Alabama, and arrived in Indian Territory 3 years later when his family was forcibly removed from Muskogee homelands and made their way west of the Trail of Tears. Yeah. Hey, shout out to, again, everybody in the chat. Hey, back for what's mine in the chat. What's up, brother? Check out his channel. And actually, we're going to touch on a lot of his relatives today. And I bet you he already knows all this. You know, he's tuned in. Shout out to War Chief Red Lion. We're going to touch on his relatives too, you know, because a lot of the prominent Creeks, many descendants, right? So-called black folks. Yeah. So you guys already know your history, but we're going to let everybody else know a little bit, you know, what came up, you know, and things to look into and follow up on when it comes to certain surnames and families related to the so-called Creeks. So Jefferson was born in 1835, right, in Alabama, Tuskegee, and arrived in Indian Territory 3 years later when his family was forcibly removed from Muskogee homelands and made their way west of the Trail of Tears. He claimed Muskogee citizenship by blood through his mother, Betsy McNack, a member of the influential Wing clan, and became a clan leader as an adult. During the Civil War, he joined the Union as part of the 1st Indian Home Guard Regiment and later became the only Muskogee freedman to represent one of the Creek tribal towns in council. Significantly, he also served as tribal interpreter and later as a tribal liaison for for Smithsonian Institution anthropologist, huh? Oh, uh-oh. Who sought to learn about Muskogee life and customs. Hmm. Wonder if he knew they were like scheming, and using him, or was he down with the whole thing? Silas Jefferson died in 1913 near Beggs, Oklahoma. These photographs of, that's his name again, document the complexities of late 19th century race relations in Indian territory when freedmen in the Muskogee Nation attended segregated schools but also voted and served in political posts in tribal governments. You know, make it make sense. Make it make sense. So again, Silas Jefferson. All right, hold on. Make sure these pages load. This is from aaregistry.org. Silas Jefferson, Black Creek Soldier. Again, I'm just going over the mainstream info, what you can find. Sorry. Why did this get so small? What's going on? Okay. All right. And then we'll get to the tree. It shouldn't be long. So Silas Jefferson again. So we got his birth. I'm trying to see if we get something else. So born at Tuskegee. Ho-tul-ko-micco, not Mipo. So Miko, chief, Miko. Just like the Mayas use that word, Miko. Wing Clan chief. Jefferson migrated with his parents to the Creek lands, Indian Territory, 1838. Right? So he was into politics after the war. Let me see, we got something else. Basically the same info. This is what I'm saying, guys. I just want to show you. This is what I mean. That's why people are very limited. And when they're trying to tell me who he is and just generalize, the info online is very limited. And they're trying to obviously separate him, calling him a freedman, saying Black Creek. They shouldn't be calling people black or white. Nobody's saying White Creek, right? Is anybody calling people white? Oh, you're a White Creek. They shouldn't be separating people, calling them Black Creek. Is his parents Indians? Yes or no? You know? What you mean? Black Creek. Black is a crayon color. Nobody's calling you White Creek. So you should stop calling your brothers and sisters, your cousins, long distance, your wherever you are of the blood by crayon colors. Right? So this was Find a Grave. Silas Jefferson of African and Creek parentage. See, this is what I'm saying. You got to dodge the hijack big time always. Because where's the sources? Where's the source? Show me he's an African. Right? So Silas Jefferson of African and Creek parentage, born in Alabama in the early 18th century, official interpreter for the Creeks in Oklahoma. His father was an African American named Manuel Jefferson and Mother Creek Indian. So they have a whole different parents, which is totally wrong. This is what I'm saying. A lot of people just go off with first thing they see. I'm gonna show you who his parents are. We already got it earlier, and we got the Dawes Rose to prove it. We got a Dawes Rose. That's the difference when you got sources. So whoever wrote this is very wrong. Silas Jefferson was one of the team of African leaders. See what I'm saying? Misclassifying people. That's wrong. That's really wrong. You're gonna see it not in history indicates any African. On more than one occasion, Silas Jefferson accompanied the Muskogee delegation to Washington, D.C., being fully bilingual in the Muskogean language. He served as interpreter for the delegation, and he also worked for the conservative party in the nation. He was considered because of his language skills. He was part of the Creek delegation to negotiate terms with the rebels during the Green Peach War. He is one of a few African identified in the tribal pictures from the nation. Oh, one of the few. That's the hijack. There's many, and I've shown you many. I've shown you many so-called few. Oh, trying to downplay it, right? What's your sources? Who wrote this, man? I wish I can complain to these people. Who wrote this? Let me see your sources. Although he was one of several Africans who served their nation with honor and distinction, dodged the hijack. You see, just because he was a so-called Negro or Negroid, right? Whatever you want to call it, so-called black, copper-colored, they're trying to make him an African. He is the third husband of Maggie Cow, Tom. They had a daughter, Angelina Jefferson. He is listed on Creek Freedman census cards, number 4884, and roll number NB680. So that's from the courtesy of the Bureau of Ethnology collection. Really, I want to see that. I want to see that. They said African. They really said Africans? Okay. I want to see that. What volume? That's like hundreds of volumes of that. What page? Right? Ho-tul-ko-micco, chief of the whirlwind. English name, Silas Jefferson. Is of mixed African and Creek parentage. Again, Dodge the hijack. Everywhere you go, I'm on Carter Museum of American Art. Everywhere you go. They can't hide the picture, so they got to add the stigma, the stereotype, the hijack. They couldn't hide the picture. It slipped through. It slipped through. Collection, Bureau of American Ethnology collection. I'm on Carter Museum. All right. Chief of the whirlwind. Creek parentage. African just means he's colored. That means they just talking about a dark-skinned person. He's Creek parentage, right? Creek parentage. Ho-tul-ko-micco or Silas Jefferson, chief of the whirlwind. This is collections gilcrease.org from the Gilcrease Museum, Thomas Gilcrease Institute of American History and Art, chief of the whirlwind. Go take a good look. All right. Stop trying to make people into Africans just because they have dark complexion. Nobody's calling you a white creek. Don't call people black creeks. That's wrong. Get out of that mentality, old school mentality. All right. So again, we're live, guys. So, we're just freestyling it right now. Just kind of freestyling it. Welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate everybody in the chat. All right. The gateway to Oklahoma history. Muster Road Company 1, April, June 1863, and 8, Silas Jefferson, also known as Tucker, in the African Creek community. This was written in the 1900s, so they added the. Later served in the House of Warriors and was one of Isparhecher's principal lieutenants. So then it goes into a lot of hijack. I was reading it, trying to, again, making all these people into Africans. The gateway to Oklahoma history. Yeah. Oh, why are we Thomas Jefferson? Oh, we not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet. Oh, hold up, not yet, not yet. Come on. Yeah. Okay, we'll get to this. All right. So, guys, that was Silas. What you can find on Wikipedia and most of the general info on Silas Jefferson online. All right. Let's go to Silas right now on the tree. That name Silas Tucker Ho-tul-ko-micco Jefferson Magnac. Now, guys, remember they said, so if you keep Googling it, you're gonna run into a lot of the articles saying his parents are Jeffrey and Elizabeth and Betsy McNack. Jeffrey McNack, Betsy McNack. That's all you get a lot of the time. I did see one that said Jeffrey Jefferson. All right, but let's just go into real quick some of the things I have here. All right, so right here, Silas is 65, birthplace Alabama, 1900 Creek Nation, Indian Territory, race, real quick, right? Race, Indian Native American, Indian Native American, Indian Native American, Silas, right? Silas Jefferson, right here, head of household, and he got IN for race. All these people, everybody here is Indian, right? In 1900. So why you keep saying these are Africans? Huh? Find a grave. We got his grave already. Now let's look at this. This is the Oklahoma Indian Territory U.S. DOT census card for 5 civilized tribes. Silas Jefferson, age 65. Jeffrey McNack and Betsy McNack. Right? Let's go into it. All right. Silas Jefferson says he's aged in 1890. So a A lot of the things say he was born in 1835, which is again, what are they going off, right? So according to this, in 1890 he was 65. That would mean he was born around 1825, right? If I do my math correctly. Let me see, 1890 minus 65. Yeah, 1825. So this is what I'm saying, guys. So that's like 10 years off in the main narratives. And that's very important because then you got to be able to match up the parents' age. 'Cause sometimes if you're doing the wrong age for the son, right, then you got the parents like way older. You're like, how, why are they having kids when they're 60, 70? Is this really this parent? So you got to try to make sense of it. And again, I'm going to emphasize that a lot of the time, these roles right here, they're not, they're listing the people. These people are Indians, but a lot of the info is just like very sloppy. Like what I'm going to show you is that they're actually using Betsy McNack. That's her maiden name. That's her maiden name, McNack, for Jeffrey on this role. No, Jeffrey's literally a Jefferson. Where I want anybody to answer me. And if you have the answer, please show me. Why is Silas Jefferson? Why is he being called Jefferson if both his parents are McNack? And don't tell me that's a slave master name because he was never a slave. Do you understand? So automatically, I asked myself that right away. Like I asked myself that right away when even before I started the like, okay, I'm reading these things online. They all say McNack, McNack. Now is one of his parents Irish? I'm thinking McNabb, McNack. Like that sounds like a, but it actually is not. It's actually you guys are gonna see where it goes back to, but a lot of Indian on that McNack, a lot of Indian. So we'll go up that line. But again, Silas Jefferson, right? Jeffrey's right here, the dad, Tuskegee, name of mother, Betsy McNabb. All right. Okay. I'm glad, Dev. Thanks, man. Doing the math. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So Oklahoma, Indian land allotment jackets for five civilized Silas Jefferson Creek by blood. Not because he's a descendant of a slave, not because slaves were freed and then they became Indians. No, it says Creek by blood, right? By blood. Silas Jefferson. He got 160 acres right here, and then 40 acres right here. So what I noticed a lot, guys, and my boy Warshi Red Lion can confirm, and I'm starting to realize, and I might do a video on it. I'm still digging. Don't take my word for it right now, but I think this is what Red Lion was kind of telling me. But that whole 40 acres and a mule, guys, that was part of the five civilized tribes only. That was something that was going on with these people, not all so-called slaves. And I noticed that a lot of these homestead or lots that were being given to the Indians, right, as they were being the lots, a lot of them were literally 40 acres. 40 acres. Silas got seems a lot of lots based on, probably what his family is, but a lot of people literally listen exactly 40 acres. I've seen it a lot of times, and I think we're gonna see it today a couple times. All right. So something I'm gonna definitely look into, and something you should look into before I even do. You know, debunk me. Like, or if you think I'm wrong, just do the research. So here, Silas Jefferson, again, another wife, Dolly. That's one of his wives. He had a couple. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Silas Jefferson married to, there's Dolly. Dolly. Okay. So, this is just like, as you guys can see, we're not just, making out that he's an Indian. And any of the, people that doubting that all these people could be Indians or that they're just descendants of runaway slaves who got with the Indians. You guys are not. You guys don't understand anthropology, American ethnology. You don't understand the real American slavery. A lot of things you don't understand and haven't researched. Here's another of these same records. Him marriage with Maggie Cowtom, one of his wives. We're gonna go up her line. We're gonna go up one of his other wife's line. I'm gonna show you their ancestors. Civil War pension. Silas Tucker, Oklahoma soldier. What side did they fight on? Yeah, Silas Jefferson, Muskogee, Oklahoma. Maggie Cowtown, Moore, Oklahoma military Dawes, Census Freedman, U.S. Native American enrollments of 5 civilized tribes, Silas Jefferson, tribe, Creek, Newborn. Huh. Oh, he must have a baby that day. So here's some stories. This is a lot of the stuff. We're gonna read some of these. Let's just see what it says right here. I haven't even read this one. So it's the Department of the Interior Office of Indian Affairs. This is from 1906, so be ready just in case it tries to hijack if they start Africanizing him. I have the honor to invite your attention to the enclosed letter of June 15, 1906, from the Thames Bixby, Commissioner to the 5 civilized tribes, who says that on April 12, 1905, there was filed with his office an affidavit in connection with an application for the enrollment of Silas Jefferson, minor child of Manuel and Jane Jefferson. Okay, so you see what I'm saying? This is now I know where they're getting those parents from. So this is a whole other Silas Jefferson because he's a baby in 1905. And by that time, Silas Jefferson, I think he was still alive. I think he was still alive, but he was an older man. This is a whole different Silas Jefferson. And so this is another Manuel and Jane Jefferson. They might be descendants, most likely, based on what I'm seeing here, based on my experience doing the genealogy, and because it's the same area, we're talking about the same people, Creek Nation. This most likely is a descendant of Silas through one of his children, their children, and they carried the name Silas, and they passed it on. This is 1900s, okay? But you guys can see it's continuing, the bloodline in the Creek Nation, even the name. So this one I attached. I didn't even read it. I should have read it. I just saw, Creek Nation. But as you guys saw, the other ones, definitely him. And we got his parents, so it was Jeffrey and Elizabeth McNabb. I'm going to go up his line, right? Actually, we didn't. Let me see. There's a lot of families always as well. So the Benvenuti family, right? They have Jeffrey and Betsy McNabb. Moniac on her, right? They didn't know his last name. See that? Cynthia Lake Asphalt family also has Jeffrey and Elizabeth, Dolly, all the spouses. The Jefferson family. Silas McNabb, right? They had Jeffrey George Jefferson. You see that? They knew. And what I did is, and I thought it was interesting because he has the person who owns this tree still carries the name Silas, and he actually kept McNabb. It makes it look like Irish Scottish. But what I noticed right away is, right, Jefferson and Jefferson family, they know. So that kind of gave me like, okay, so his dad is probably a Jefferson. That's where his name is coming from. Why would Silas name himself Jefferson? Why did his parents name him Jefferson? You got to try to explain that. You can't just make up a story. And you got to have a logical explanation. All right. And then when I did the genealogy, I was able to see why. Again, the maniac or Moniac, as you see here, Manak, is coming from the mom. That was her maiden name. All right. For some reason, you know, he named himself Jefferson because that was his dad's last name. So Harding family has the same. They have Randall. That's not him. I think Elizabeth was married. His spouse Elizabeth was married to another person named Randall, and they put Jefferson's last name like that. Here they got Jeffrey McNabb, Moniac, Silas. But you see, in general, people kind of know the names of his parents. In a lot of different families. Here they got Jeff Jefferson. They knew. Right? Jeff Jefferson, they knew too. Jeff Jefferson, So a lot of Jeffersons, which I started confirming. And until then, I wasn't thinking anything. I was like, well, we're in Alabama. We'd have to get to Virginia and all that. And again, we have Jeffrey McNabb here in the Dawes Road that's listed as the parents of Silas Jefferson. And when I got to Jeffrey, a lot of the family trees were putting Nelson Jefferson as his dad. Nelson Jefferson, as you guys can see, Nelson Jefferson, Nelson Jefferson, Nelson Jefferson, and it was also coming up as a potential father for um, Jeffrey, potential father. And that's not all. So when I was seeing, so like for example, when I actually, before I even attach things, I usually go to the trees of that person and see why, see where Nelson is from, if the age matches and everything. And then I ran into something. Right away, I noticed Nelson Jefferson was born in Monticello Plantation in Albemarle County, Virginia. Monticello Plantation. You guys know who that is? Whose plantation that is, right? We just did a video. We just did a video. We just did a video the other day. Thomas Jefferson, Monticello. Visit Monticello. Monticello is the autobiographical masterpiece of Thomas Jefferson, designed and redesigned and built and rebuilt for more than 40 years. His gardens were a botanic showpiece, a source of food, and an experimental laboratory of ornamental and useful plants from around the world. You know, okay? For food, but not like where they were producing, oh, we're producing cotton and sugar for no, it's not that type of plantation. You just heard, we just read. So Thomas Jefferson enslaved 600 people, or did he have indentured servants? This is what I'm trying to tell you. You guys got to really start doing real research. Who were all these people, so-called slaves? Who were each individual? They all have a story and a real genealogy. Can't just say, oh, you hear the word slave automatically, oh, African slave. That's not correct. That's not being a professor. That's not knowing real history. You know, research and educate yourself. Take their word for it. Take their advice. So Monticello, right? Where are we? Monticello. Oh, we're not there yet. Hold up. Monticello. Okay. So Nelson Jefferson was born in Monticello Plantation, 1789. And he ended up in Perry County, Alabama. That's where Jeffrey was born, Alabama, before they got relocated. That's where Silas was born, Alabama, before he got relocated to Oklahoma. All right? Don't worry, we'll get to the Indians, guys. We'll get to the Indians. Let me just explain this real quick, because this is the part nobody ever wants to research. This is the part nobody ever wants to research. Nelson Jefferson, 81 here in 1870. Birthplace, Virginia. There you go, confirmed. Where's Monticello? Virginia. So-called black. So-called black. Perry, Alabama, he's living in 1870. With one of his daughters, I believe, and her kids. He's here listed as a so-called African American county, Perry County, Nelson Jefferson, Alabama. He was coming from Monticello. He was born in Monticello, and he's a Jefferson. And then many family members, many families knew John Garland Jefferson is his dad. All right. Nelson McNabb, look at that. They even gave him the McNabb last name. It's not even his last name, but they knew he was related. He knew. These people knew. They heard the stories. This is what I'm saying. I try to analyze every tree, guys, and I try to understand where people get in. And you gotta always I don't always say, oh, these families are wrong right away. I try to give the families the benefit of the doubt. It's their family. Somebody in their family knew this. John Jefferson is the dad, right? John Garland Jefferson to be exact, right? John Garland Jefferson, right? We're talking about so-called black folks too. Yeah, don't worry, he's back for what's mine. Yeah, make sure to follow back for what's mine. He got his channel, doing his thing, trying to spread his story, right? We all got a story to tell, and like he says, all race matters, or every story matters, or everyone matters, yo. Everyone matters, yo. Right? Let them know. Back for what's mine. I don't know. So we're talking about people I personally have talked to on a phone conversation and everything, not people who think they know me and talk about me. Shout out to all the real ones out there. So Nelson Jefferson, huh? Nelson Jefferson. Hey, let me go back to my tree. Yeah. It's more than reparations, We're not talking about really reparations, like it's bigger than that, you know. That whole reparations thing, it was kind of based on a, you know, West African slave kind of narrative, it's more than repair. Get get your identity back, get your land back, you know, you gotta revive all your ancestors again. Who's all your fourth great grandparents? When you can tell me that, then I can take you more seriously. All right. So we still got. Hold on, hold on. I think we skipped. My fault, guys. No mean to go off track here. We're live, and I just get on. We're gonna be talking, babbling a bit. So we got John Garland Jefferson Sr., married to Lucy Andrews. All right, his dad. Yeah, John Garland Jefferson. His dad, George Jefferson, and Mary Elizabeth Garland. Confirmed. All this stuff is really confirmed. Because now we're talking about relatives of Thomas Jefferson, guys. Like this is historical. These people already, I don't have to even verify from here up, like the line. So even before I was like, let me see if I can find, because I don't want to waste my time thinking, I'm going up to Jefferson, because where is Jefferson? Jefferson's around the same age right here. So I was like, okay, so it seems he's not a direct uh, descendant of Thomas Jefferson himself. So what gives? I did recognize these names. I remember. I just did the video the other day, right, guys, with Thomas Jefferson. I remember George Jefferson and Elizabeth Garland. I remember. So I was like, he must be related somehow. He must be related somehow. Possible paternity of other Jeffersons, a summary of research. So what are they talking about is that, so you got Thomas Jefferson and his dad, right? And then his grandfather. But like his grandfather had a lot of kids. There's a lot of male Jeffersons. So he has a lot of uncles. Thomas Jefferson has a lot of uncles carrying the Jefferson name. So there's other Jefferson families in the same area mingling with Jefferson, his cousin, their cousins, they're cousins. So they're mingling. So he got his nephews working for him on his plantation, being born on his plantation. This is what I'm trying to explain. So it says a range of primary and secondary material was used to inform the conclusions of the committee. The principal sources are Jefferson's unpublished correspondence and microfilm editions of Library of Congress, Massachusetts Historical Society, University of Virginia, and other repositories, Jefferson's Summary Journal of Letters, Field Jefferson, and Randolph Jefferson files in the Monticello Research Library. So these are the sources they're saying they're getting the following information from. So it says from this research, it was determined that other than Thomas Jefferson, listen, 25 adult male descendants of his father, Peter, and his uncle, Field, lived in Virginia. There's other males carrying the name. During 1794, 1807, period of Sally Hemings' pregnancies. All right, remember Sally Hemings? You guys are informed now. You guys know who Sally Hemings is, right? You guys know. Remember? Supposed concubine, suppose. That was literally his wife in the later years. He had a lot of kids with her. She never really worked like a slave. She got taught to knit. She was taken to France. She was his sister-in-law, literally. She was his wife's sister. So when she was given away, she was given to her niece, and that was Aunt Sally. Yeah, unfortunately, Aunt Sally had to work for the niece. She's the master, just like the royals in Europe. The throne might go to the daughter, right? And she might be the next queen, and she has to. So what happens? Her aunt has to serve her, has to be her maiden, has to be her knit, stitch her clothes, and then same thing, guys. This is how they were rolling the Jeffersons with their so-called servants and slaves, which most of them were half family members, as we shown the other day. Catch up on the videos. Catch up on the videos. So we went over some of his kids. His brother, so his brother Randolph Jefferson and five of his sons. So these are Thomas Jefferson's, right? His brother John Robertson Jefferson, seven sons of Peter Field Jefferson, his first cousin, five sons of George Jefferson, his first cousin. Of the 19 descendants of Field Jefferson, all but two, George Jefferson Jr. and John Garland Jefferson, John Garland, John Garland Jefferson, John Garland, body bag. John Garland Jefferson. Hold up. Where were we? That's when I was like, okay, there you are. You guys gotta understand my excitement when I'm doing this research alone in my little office, and I'm like, wow, wait till I show everybody. I did this like 4 or 5 days ago, and I was like, man, I can't wait. I just like, let me do the video, but I want to do it right. I want to kind of like make sure the trees gave me more hints and see what else I can find, and because I was stuck in certain lines, right? All right. So John Garland Jefferson pursued his studies where? In Monticello neighborhood with Thomas Jefferson's support. Okay. Where did John Garland end up? In Monticello, right? John Garland ended up in Monticello. John Garland, the dad of Nelson Jefferson, who was born in Monticello. That's why he was born there, because his dad was going there to study and living and working and just apprenticeship in the neighborhood. He was in there. He was in that same area where his cousins, Thomas, right? Thomas had his thing. So again, let me just make sure I understood that right. So John Garland. So George Jefferson is his dad. So that would be his first cousin. So John Garland is a second cousin. That's a second cousin. John Garland, second cousin. Second cousin, his dad, right? So Nelson would be third cousin to Thomas Jefferson, right? Jeffrey, where are we going? What are we talking about here? Jeffrey would be fourth cousins, right? And then guess what? Silas, and so I just did the math. Silas would be fifth cousins of Thomas Jefferson. Fifth cousins. All right. So through who though? Through who? Let me show you guys. So we got George Jefferson, first cousin of Thomas Jefferson, right? Go up his tree. He is the son of Field Jefferson. Who is the son of Thomas Jefferson, which is the grandfather of Silas. So let me show you guys. Field is Peter Jefferson's brother, and Peter is again the dad, the father. See, I haven't even added him to Silas Street yet because I already know I have. See, it's the dad of Thomas Jefferson. All right, again, we just did it there. If you guys saw, Silas, fifth cousins to Thomas Jefferson. You know, down the line. Okay. So Jefferson and Garland. So on the Garland side, so we already kind of know where this goes. Now remember Peter and Field, and they were saying possibly Mary Virginia Field was a servant, a slave at some point. She was so-called black. Remember they were saying that Thomas might be a half-breed, a mulatto, a mulatto. Hmm. But I'm gonna show you as soon as I find it, the screenshot. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna do it on my next genealogy video. I'm gonna show you guys what I mean. All right. Inconclusive right now. We'll give them that. Now I want to show you something. Okay, hold up. So Garland is part of the family. All right, hold on. Make sure we went up. So we already went up the. We did this on the Thomas Jefferson. When it comes to the Jefferson, we did it on the Thomas Jefferson. I'm not sure if I went up the Garland side on that video, but I did this on here. So we got parents for Elizabeth Garland, who's the wife of Thomas Jefferson's first cousin, Silas' second great grandparents, right? Second great grandparents. Elizabeth Garland's dad, parents are David Garland from Virginia, married Cheeley, right? And again, we had records and stuff for that. Look at this. I got 20 hints right here. So again, this all popped up after. A lot of this pops up after. Colonel David Garland. Look, this is like primary sources. These are like real uh, written letters of the time. All right. So this is kind of the stuff you gotta verify. You gotta know cursive. I can read this, but it would strain me. I would take a while. I wouldn't even try to do this live. So the Kieran, the what is this say? The clearness of Davis Garland and Mary Cheedy, or the marriage maybe. So yeah, again, I would take me a while to try to translate that, but this is the kind of stuff I kind of do on the side just to make sure I'm not going up the wrong tree and just making things up. Now this is historic. So right here I'm just adding hints, as you guys can see. These are hints. Here's a story. Let's see what the story says. Cumberland, Parliamenburg, Baltimore City. Let's see historic. Jane Garland, that Edward Garland. Okay, so this is general info. This is info associated to these people, so you want to save all this stuff. Look at that Quaker symbol. Uh-oh, what does that mean? The Garland's Quakers? Uh-oh. So, let me go. All free state. They're Garland, George Jefferson. Uh-huh. So a lot of history there with these people, as you guys can see. Oh, all right, going back up. So again, I'll be not in a hurry, guys. You know, trying to take my time. I'm live. You know, just trying to show you where these people kind of end up. The Garlands. Oh, I got all the way up to 1700. Joseph Garland Jr., and that's about it. I got one hint, but it's not the parents. You know, let me see. When I hit search, what I get. I do this all the time. Even when I hit the road, I hit search to see what I can find on my own. So we got stuff from Britain. That's not it. That's not it. You know, Florida arriving. Joseph Garland. That's 1898. That's a little later. So again, nothing really. Those are all different Joseph Garlands. So on the Garland side, if you're a Garland, that's where I got to Virginia right there, and related to Silas too, through his dad's on his paternal side. Right. Okay. Let me just close this. And then on the cheat, well, actually, we have a Terrell here too. Terrell, also in New Kent County, Virginia. So he's got Terrell in his family. He's got Cheed. So here we have Cheed Jr. and Cheed Sr. and we got a whitewash image. Sure, we got a drawing. We don't, you know, I'm not gonna say he wasn't light skinned. We don't know, but he could have been. But I just know better to trust right away these images, right? So we got Cheeds and his line here in the paternal line as well. Oh man, I hate when they make me go all the way back. Okay. And then on his side, I think I probably got his wife now because there's 20 hints here. I'll be able to see. But we're pretty far back here, 1630s, you know. And so this guy's the cheese coming from England. His wife Lovat, England. Cheese. So his wife, who knows who she is? Might be an Indian, might not. Going back down to John, he also got his wife, which is Southern, the last name. Her dad, John Southern, Middlesex, Virginia, and Catherine Barron. That last name is very prestigious. Barron. And then on the southern side, we got Captain John Thomas. It says, to USA with his servant Thomas Cross. Southern senior leads to Charlemont was his indentured servant. He traveled, is trying to say. So they're coming from, let's see where he's coming from. Wow. England. England. So why am I adding this? Like without like most of the stuff is pretty historic when you're back in this times, and you probably can Google this right away and you'll find that yeah, there's stories about this guy and his parents. So look at that, Tucker. Hmm. Do you guys see that there's a Tucker last name now popping up, and one of Silas' nicknames was Tucker. Nobody can explain that. Why was he called Tucker? Why is he called Jefferson? This might be a reason. He might have known something about his Jefferson side carrying a Tucker name. You guys see that? And she's still in Virginia. Oh, let me see something here. Pretty far back, 1619. So this might be off. Sometimes they'll say Virginia because I'm so, when did she get there? Like, who's her parents? This is like 1619. People are just getting there. This is what I'm trying to say. Well, not really. They've been there since 1500. Let me not say that. So it says her dad, William Tucker, St. Clements, England. And then he says he died at sea. So let me just see her hints. All right. Mother, Mary Elizabeth Thompson. It says here, Captain William Tucker. So there's a gravesite. They call her Memory here. And who's Memory? Oh, Mary Memory. Okay. Mary Memory. Okay. John Southern, arriving in Virginia. Is that her dad? 1620. Okay. So let's see if some other families have her mother. So they have Mary Elizabeth Tucker as the mom. Sorry, Thompson. Tucker. Yeah, Tucker and Thompson. And she was born in England, it says. Okay. Just want to show you guys, like, so this is what I'm saying about not generalizing. Not generalizing. You can go ahead and verify, debunk me if you want. If you think I'm wrong right now, I'm showing you the wrong history here. How we got here. You guys saw how I got here. Again, let me go back up there. All these people coming from England. I'm not gonna downplay it. I'm not gonna downplay it. It's okay. I'm not gonna be ashamed of. So again, Captain John is from England. Captain John Thomas Southern. That's Oh, it's not telling me what great grandfather he is, so I'm not sure why. Okay, yeah, fourth, fifth, sixth great grandfather. Silas' sixth great grandfather. All right, there you go. So that's the side. Going back down. There's a Robertson here. Oh, that's on the field. We got that on the Thomas line. So going down, Lucy Andrews, right here, John Garland's wife. Andrews. Remember, these are black folks. Let's see. Remember, his son was listed as so-called black, being born in Monticello. Lucy Andrews Jefferson, his wife. Passed away at 59, 1824. The daughter of John Thomas Andrews and Lucy Williamson Bynum. The Andrews are in Virginia, and that's as far as I got on that side. The Drews, very, very prominent, very, very deep history with the Andrew family. Shout out to the Andrews out there, Andrew clan. The Bynum side again as well. Didn't get her parents either. So we're still there in Virginia with the Bynums, as you guys can see. All right. Now we go back down to Nelson. Now, I do know Nelson was with Patsy. And not sure if that's Jeffrey's mom, but I don't think it is. And it didn't indicate. Nobody kind of knew. Nobody had the mom. So he might have had, relations with somebody not listed or that people can remember. So going up, back down to Jeffrey. And we're going to go up the mom's side, right? We're going to go up Silas' mom's side now. We got full name Elizabeth or Betsy. If you guys to help you with your genealogy, when you see Betty, Betsy, Lizzie, Eliza, Beth, those usually are all Elizabeth. All right, usually on the money, like Betsy, like these are all usually Elizabeth, full name. So don't be afraid to put full name Elizabeth slash whatever you find, Betsy, Bev, because you might get more hints. That's what I did. When I did that, I was able to confirm a lot of the stuff did say Elizabeth, and her mom is called Elizabeth. Okay, so she's Manak, Manak or Moniac. She's carrying that name. Her dad is Samuel Takis Hajo, Manak Hajo. All right, we're talking about to get into some Indians here. Yeah, no, that is Oklahoma. So here she's listed as Silas's mom, Manak, U.S. Freedman, Bureau Records, Betsy Manak. All right, let me see. I think I'm actually not. Make sure I read I make sure check the gallery because I know I have stories on a lot of these people. So going up to her parents, we got Samuel Takis Hajo Manak Moniac, born in Macon, Alabama, Tuskegee in 1840. He's being listed as free white. All right, free white. He's an Indian, free white, being listed as free white. We've seen black folks listed as free white. Samuel Manak, marriage, death, will, court records. Sam Moniac, Elizabeth Weatherford. David Moniac, Alabama, surname Sam Moniac. David Moniac, native of Baldwin County of Indian and Scotch descent. All right. So again, Scotch, Irish. So not 100%, right? Even on the maniac side, not 100%, right? And it's okay, guys. It's okay. But you never know if these Scottish, Irish people are linked to ancient America somehow. Either way, it doesn't matter. Like, these are your ancestors. A lot of people like to generalize. Hope you're observant. But genealogy is very complex, guys. You gotta stop. You can't generalize with history or genealogy. It's really not. Very complex. He gave his life in the cause of the white settlers or European settlers, Tashahaja were white, in the southeastern states. He was born in Baldwin County in 1802 and was killed in battle in the Seminole War at Wahoo Swamp. His father was Sam Moniac, all right? So this would be a brother. They're talking about a brother of Elizabeth, the wife, right? That's her brother. His father, Samuel, known as the Red Eagle of the Creek Indians, and his mother, Elizabeth Weatherford, sister of William Weatherford, one of the great Creek chiefs whose name is familiar to Alabamians who have read the history of their state. His grandfather, Moniac, came from Scotland. Listen to this. All right, the Moniac, listen, it's not even an Indian name. Came from Scotland to Alabama in the latter part of the 8th century. You're going to see, guys, it's mostly in the maternal side that a lot of the Indian is coming from. Appointed to the United States Military Academy at West Point, he prepared for admission to that institution, the military school of John McLeod, Irish scholar at Washington. He entered the West Point Academy September 18, 1817. Old school soldier, right? And graduated July 1st, 1822 with the bravest rank, second lieutenant, and was assigned to the 6th United States Cavalry. He resigned from the Army December 31st, 1822, and so on, and so on, and so on. All right, we're just talking about real sources, real people. Okay, what else we got here? Mississippi State Territorial, Samuel Munac, Monroe, Mississippi. U.S. Army Indian Campaign Service Record. Army Indian Campaign, Samuel Moniac. Again, the name Moniac, you already heard, it's coming from Scotland. He was in the Florida War. House of Representatives, private claim, Samuel Manic, compensation for property destroyed by Creek Indians, by his own people. Gallery, let me just make sure I don't miss anything. Okay, so according to this is what somebody uploaded. I don't know. I don't see the source, but that's what Sam Moniac looked like. Looks very copper colored to me. All right. This is what I'm saying. What you mean free white? But hey, that's what they're saying. I should have that as the profile pic. Should definitely add that to the profile pic. Done. Okay. Gives a little bit more perspective. It still looks like a drawing though, guys, right? So, you know, still looks like a drawing. So imagine. All right. So on the mom's side, again, Weatherford. There's a Betsy Weatherford, Creek, Alabama, United States. All right. Creek Nation, birth in the Creek Nation. So on this side, we also got Indian, right? Uh, her dad, Charles Weatherford. Her mom, Sehoy the Third. McPherson. McGillivray. All right. Shout out again. This is what I was saying. Hey, back for what's mine. You already know. McGillivray's, the McIntoshes. Hey, shout out to Red Lion. Watch your Red Lion. And a lot of your families. I know, guys. Trust me. And I've seen an image of the real William McIntosh. He was a black man. I've seen it. Red Lion showed it to me. That's his ancestor. You know, what you would call so-called black man. But we dodged a hijack big time. So we still got some records here, as you guys can see. Elizabeth Weatherford, Sammy Moniac. Hit next, yep. Attach that. Save to the tree. like a like a copper colored Thomas Jefferson for real. With a big forehead. He did have a big forehead. He did have a big forehead. The Weatherfords. Look at this, guys. All right. The Weatherfords. Lunenburg. So the whole article here. The children were James, Polly, John Weatherford. So let's see where we're at. Children were Isabella, William, Charles Weatherford. According to Dr. Marion Lisha Tarvin, was a man of means and was a government contractor and constructed and owned the first race courses in Alabama. Wow. He came to Creek County, or country, before 1778 with his friend Samuel Mims. He was also a longtime friend of Lackland McGillivray. All right, this is the history most people don't know about. All right, and a lot of people think, these are only Pelican people, and it's not like that, guys. He was a trader. He was a friend of Lackland McGillivray. He went to the Creek Nation with his friend Samuel Mims. He lived at his horse track on the Alabama River, about 5 miles up from Sehoy. It was customary for Indian couples to live separately, and Charles kept the custom with Sehoy. The Weatherford house was near what is now North Montgomery at Pickett Spring. There were conic mounds on the property, 5 of which are still visible from what is now Cusada Ferry Road. All right. All right. Sehoy the Third. This is who we just talking about. This is this person's my mom, right? Born, she's from the Wing clan. Born in Tulsa, Elmore, Alabama, in Baldwin County. Uh, she was buried in Baldwin County. Her son William Weatherford lies buried next to her. The parents are Sehoy II, a Takabachi chief. So she was a woman. So she was the chief. You see that? Her first husband was Colonel John Tate, a British officer with rank of colonel and the last British commander at Fort Toulouse. The children of Sehoy II and her husband John Tate were David Tate. All right, and then it keeps going and telling you that her second, William Weatherford, born 1788, 1781. And that's who they had the children, and eventually the Weatherfords. And it keeps going. A lot to take in. Elizabeth Weatherford, born 1785 in Alabama, married Samuel Takehajo Moniac. That's who we're dealing with right now. About 1802 in Baldwin County, Alabama. Sam was born about 1781 in Alabama. Their children were David Moniac, Polly, David Alexander Moniac, Sheriff of Baldwin, Margaret Moniac, Marion Ellis Tarvin, and it goes on. And they leave out a lot of people, guys. They leave out a lot of people to me on purpose. So you don't link the people, because today they're called black folks, because I didn't want to link them. So Red Eagle is Elizabeth Weatherford's dad. Red Eagle goes on to full participation in the Creek War. More to come on that war. Another massacre, the Kimball James Massacre, the canoe fight with Sam Dale and his forces against the Red Sticks, the Battle of Holy Ground with Red Eagle mounted on Arrow, his black steed, on the Battle of Talladega, to the climatic Battle of Horseshoe Bend, where all come together. General Andrew Jackson's forces, including David Crockett's and Sam Houston, are joining with Choctaws and other tribes against the Red Sticks. This ends the war. All right. So what is this telling me? That Silas' ancestors linked up with Andrew Jackson against the Red Stick people. So we've been learning about Andrew Jackson, his whole complex history and his personal hate with certain Indians and why. So it's not about generalizing again. We're not also glorifying these people either, just because we're trying to correct the history and the narratives a little bit. All right, so it keeps going. It's a lot of pages. You know, they most likely have sources for this. I attached it because I did Google this stuff and I was able to find all this stuff. So, you know, just wanted to show you guys that again. Elizabeth Betsy Weatherford. Before we go up to Weatherford, we're gonna go up the Manac line. So Samuel Takishajo, Red Eagle, right? In all those wars. That's what he looked like too. That's what they're saying. His dad again was William Dixon Jacob Manac. He's not an Indian, but he did become chief. This was happening, guys. This is what I'm trying to explain. Like a lot of people call being called chiefs. A lot of them, honorary chiefs, because they're marrying into the line. So Molly Polly Colbert, she's Indian. So what I'm trying to show you, let me explain what I'm trying to show you guys. So when it comes to Elizabeth, both her parents are both her parents have European and indigenous. It's not 100%, right? I'm going to show you. When it comes to Samuel, on the Monic side, let me see. Okay, yeah. So even this, so this is what I'm saying. So on this side, that's why he's chief, because his mom is Indian. His mom is Indian. We're going to get to that. And then we got William Dixon Moniac, North Carolina. We're going to get to that, guys. But I want you to pay attention. Pay attention. These are all full-blooded Indians. This is what I'm just pay attention, please. Exactly. Alik Chita Okla. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But I was saying this 6, 7 years ago, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, and I was getting a lot of, fallback. I got a lot of hate, a lot of hate, a lot of misunderstanding. People weren't ready. I understand. Hopefully we're ready now. Hopefully we can mature in that way at least. This ain't personal. And when I'm talking about genealogy, it's very complex. So my point is, you can't be judging people just because others don't have a certain color. You can't. You gotta. Do you know all their genealogy? And how is all your genealogy? Is everybody 100% anything? That's what I'm talking about. Back for what's mine. Waters and wars follow your and genealogy and the money. The money bag. It's all about the money bag. At the end of the day, they chasing that money bag. Like today, right? Now this is a great, great book I found in these hints right here, guys. Right? Great book. So again, we're in the Moniac side. I'm gonna read this whole book to you guys. This is a really good book. It goes into a lot of detail when it comes to the dealings of the Europeans with the Indians here and who they're mixed with and who they descend from and who. So again, just for example, let me see. So Dixon Moniac, a Hollander. Listen to this. Okay, so let's start right here. James McQueen was the first European man, not white man, I ever heard of being among the Creeks. He was born in 1683, went into the nation 1716, and died in 1811. He married a Tallahassee woman, Tallahassee. The Tallahasees then occupied a portion of Talladega County. In 1756, he moved to Tallahasees down opposite Takabachi, and settled the Natchez under the chief Chenubai, and Dixon Moniac, a Hollander. All right, he Dutch. Oh, now we understand. So-called Dutch, Black Dutch. Oh, who's the Dutch? We just did a video the other day, or yesterday, right? The other day. Who's the Dutch? A lot of these Huguenots and Sephardi Jews and crypto Jews are your so-called Dutch. who was the father of Sammoniac at the Tallahassee Old Fields on the Tallahatchie Creek. McQueen settled himself on Lang Creek in Montgomery County. I knew of several of his children, that is, his sons Bob, Fulani, and Peter. Bob was a very old man when I first knew him. He and Fulani and Indian wives. Peter, the youngest son, married Betsy Durant. That's where you get a lot of the Durants, and there's a whole like Durant chocolate line. There's a whole that I'm digging into. They raised one son, James, and three daughters. Again, Durant, Huguenot, Millie, Nancy, and Tallahassee, the big warrior son, Jargy, and so on and so on. And you guys can see it goes on. But I actually read a lot of pages, and it gets really interesting. We're gonna get the whole reading. As you know, we read a lot of books. Why not? We're gonna definitely get into Woodward's reminiscence of the Creek or Muskogee Indians contained in the letters to friends in Georgia and Alabama. Great book. We're gonna get into that. Already got it saved. Don't worry about it. Already got it saved. Okay, so Dixon, right there they call him Dixon, and they say he's a Hollander, but you know, that's as far as I was able to get, right? So his full name is William Dixon Moniac. Manac, look at that. Moniac or Manac. Right, let me just see something real quick. I didn't even do this yet. Let me see. House of Names. Okay. Let's do this. Manaque. Let's see if it comes up. Nope. And Moniac, I don't think comes up either. Yeah, so they're saying Dutch. It might be spelled it might be a variation of that. And again, Dutch, he's supposed to be Dutch. Are they cryptos? They're hiding. They're anglicizing or Frenchicizing or Dutchizing the name coming out of France or Spain and Portugal. Okay. So just want to show you the book that history, that's history. They told you he's from Holland. He's a Dutch. That Moniac life. So when it comes to his wife, right? Actually, sorry, I skipped a generation. This is what I was saying. So this is what I mean. So they were saying that Samuel, dad is from Holland, but he's actually born in Georgia. They skipped a generation. His dad, his dad is the one that I got stuck in, most likely coming from Holland. When it comes to the wife, Mary Colbert, right? Colbert, any Colbert out there? Born in Tuskegee Town, Upper Creek Nation. She's also, so we got Chief, her dad is Chief, Captain James Logan Colbert. He married into the Chickasaw Nation, okay? He married who? Sofa Minta Hoya Nahatali Ishtanaha Chickasaw. Okay? So she's mixed. He's mixed, right? Silas' great grandparents. His dad is mixed, right? So like all these people we're gonna go up the Weatherford line till you see. They're all mixed. Yeah, game over, Hawk School, game over. Game over, man. It's been game over, man. Hey, glad to see you here though, man. You know, this is what I'm trying to say. Unity, facts over feelings. You know what I'm saying? Like over personal little uh, grudges or misunderstandings. All right, nobody's trying to make anybody anything that they're not. I'm just actually showing you that you might be even more than you think you are. You might be even more than you think you are, and that's okay. That's okay. So again, going up, the Dixons, we got to William, Moniac. Hey, you know, I searched. I didn't really find much. He might be coming from, Holland through Ireland or England or one of those places, or he might have a parent that came, and he's might be first generation. They're saying he was born in North Carolina here. That's about. There's no sources for that. Somebody put that, but again, I got stuck there. The story might also mean that the name is Dutch. You know, not that the person actually came, because this we know Sam's dad didn't. You know, his dad didn't. So. But that's the thing about genealogy. A lot of the time, the story skips generations, and then it's generalized and told that way, and it's told wrong. And this is what I'm trying to show is more complex than what people think. So, Sarah Dixon, his wife, as you guys can see, she also got Camden last name, but she's a Tuskegee woman, Tuskegee Indian. What does that mean? Is the Tuskegee tribe or of that nation, of that area, but I'm assuming Indian, right? Like this is what we got for her. We don't know really where. We can say where she was born. I don't have none of that, and none of the families do. And let me show you guys here. So now look, this family is saying this is new. They didn't have this yesterday. They're saying her dad is Camden Dixon, but her spouse is Dixon. So I don't. To me, that don't make sense, right? Camden might be a last name, not a first name. So that's why I don't always attach everything. And then when you go to these people's profile, oh, if they're getting it from Genie, the community, then I don't even I ignore these. These are always bad. These are very there's no sources on this website. A lot of the time they have very false info. So if that's where they're getting it, that might be the reason. Again, you see, no sources, nothing I can go off. Like, where did you get that from? Okay, so I'm not adding that, and that's probably why I didn't add it. I must have not added. Okay. Hey, Tess, you just got to do your genealogy. I'm showing you how easy it is. You got to really just do it. Not just, you got to stop wishing and you just got to start acting, manifesting, manifesting. And I mean that with all respect, you know. So, all right. A Tuskegee woman, right? So we got Tuskegee, Chickasaw, right? Creek, and all these other Indians, we call them by their tag names. They had other names, National clans and all that. All right. Going back down, going to go up to Colbert, right? This is Silas' great grandparents on his mom's side. Colbert, she's born in Tuskegee Creek Nation. Her dad is, again, James Logan Colbert. Colbert, he married into the Chickasaw Nation. They're saying that his dad is, see, this is what I'm saying now. Look, all these people are chiefs. Chief William Blaine, Chief Colbert, right? His mom is Dorothy Mimi Vernon Colbert. What does this mean? Let's go, guys. Since we're gonna do this together. I didn't have these hints before, right? Or I don't know if I went up them. Now, right away, see, right away you gotta right away. This gets me a little upset because, and a lot of you probably, oh, there you go, he's white. No, sorry, there was no cameras invented between 1721 and 1784, the time this guy lived. There was no cameras, not officially, not officially. So don't tell me this is what I'm saying, guy. Look, dodge the hijack big time. James Logan Colbert. Stop lying. Stop lying. There is no cameras in the 1700s. Not officially. We gotta go with mainstream net, right? History. All right. This is what I'm saying. Ignore. Or let's hit review. Nope. Ignore. Dodge the hijack. Okay. What's it say here? Not just court records. Zoom in. I hope you're not in a hurry. I think it's gonna take long. Okay, let me see what we got here. Farrar, robbery in the house of Benjamin Farrar, Muslim name, and that's name came up in the books we read. Jews and Muslims in British colonial America. He confirmed that's a Moorish name, Sephardic Moorish name. When we're talking about white people, really in these times, so-called white. And again, this is nothing against anybody that goes by so-called white. You shouldn't go by so-called white, so you shouldn't be offended. But because you ain't a cream color, you ain't a cream color. So I guess James in there somewhere. So yeah, it seems to be that this person is pretty historic. There's a lot of hints coming up. So let's just read this real quick. The story of Chickasaw Colberts. The Chickasaw Colberts. All right, shout out to the Colberts. It begins in Scotland, though. The Colbert. Not that they begin in Scotland, but the Colbert part of the paternal part. Apparently, there was one more important Highlander aboard the arriving ship at Darien, a 15-year-old boy named James Logan Colbert. His name is not found on the passenger list, nor on a list of Georgia settlers. of 1733 to 1741, but descendants have been claiming since at least 1881 that he was on board the Prince of Wales. So see, they don't have actual proof of that. They're saying the family says he was. From whence he came is likewise a mystery, but vague hints and family archives indicate an origin in Inverness, Scotland. Okay, so they definitely do know that the Colbert, though, is what their memory remembers, is coming from Scotland. There's a story of Scotland somewhere in there. Because I'm telling you, they're giving us different people, and they're still in the Americas, right? His dad, check it out. So it's his dad who actually came. See, he was born in Scotland. William de Blainville Matacha Colbert. But why is he a chief and he's born in Scotland? This is what I'm trying to explain, guys. Dorothy Mimi Vernon Colbert, Chickasaw Nation. So she might be the actual chief. And the male who's coming from Scotland is marrying, and he's of honorary, uh, what do you call that? First sir? Like, first lady, he's first sir. First sir, he's to the queen. That's why they call him chief. So she was born in the Chickasaw Nation. She might have a history too. She's carrying the Vernon name. This is what I'm saying. Like when you start really going into these, you start realizing all these people are like mixed. So it's like almost they were making sure they grabbed at least, or whoever they made cheese or whatever, had some of this, whether you want to say black European or pale European, European blood. It seems that's what I'm starting to notice. That's the pattern I see, guys, and these prominent tribes. Like they were making sure they didn't get like a full blood. I can only tell you what I'm finding in history, guys, and the genealogy. And this is an example of hundreds of trees I've done, just like this. Using the names of licensed Indian traders, a list of Virginia, North, and South Carolina traders was created. A partial list includes Robert Long, Charles Hicks, John Brown, William Gilchrist, Abraham Colson, James Anderson, William Kemp, James Moore, Richard Hyde, John Sims, William Williams, and John Pettigrew. The Hydes of Northampton County. One of James Colbert's hirelings was Richard Hyde, listed above. His father, also known as Richard Hyde, had also been employed by Colbert as a pack horseman. See, they might call him a slave in history, but he was an indentured servant working for him. So I'm just trying to get to know this guy right now. You're doing the genealogy with me. And it says James Logan Colbert, his first full blood Chickasaw, had the following children. So his wife, they're saying is full blood, right? Sally, Celia, and Billy or William Chustemacha Colbert. James Logan Colbert, second full blood Chickasaw, had the following children. So that's there you go. And that's his kids, Joseph Samuel Colbert, James Logan Colbert, half blood Chickasaw, and the following children. Okay, you guys see. Drink some water. All right, hold on. Thanks for reminding me. I'm going too fast, my fault. I'm just trying to get through it. Shabbat Shalom. Give thanks to the Most High, to the Great Spirit for this great revealing. James Logan Colbert was born in the Carolinas. In a declaration made by Sylvester Labadie, Labadie has been captain of Colbert in the spring of 1782. He stated that Colbert was about 60 years old, possessed of good health and a strong constitution, an active man. Despite his years, he had a violent temper and was capable of enduring the greatest hardship. He had lived among the Chickasaws for 40 years and boasted that he was owner of a fine house and some 150 blacks, huh? Really, I want to see that source. I want to see that source. He said he had several sons by Chickasaw women who were very important chiefs in that nation. Okay. So he had a lot of kids with Chickasaw women, spreading his seed. Possible ancestor of yours. Here he is in a newspaper article, just saving that. Okay. So we're going to go up his dad's line. Black is a crayon color. No, don't come. I hope you don't just subscribe and wait 20 minutes just to control crypto Greek growth. Like black is a crayon color, man. We don't. That's played out in this channel. That's played out, man. Okay. So I don't know if your intention. So if your not intention is not bad, excuse me, but I don't know who you're talking about it when you're saying deal with it. Yeah, no caps, all that. Don't come here joking. Don't come here to troll. We've been peaceful so far. You get removed quick, fast, quick, fast. I got the fastest moderator. So, Mr. Chief William de Blaine, who married an Indian, he called himself a chief, but he's from Scotland. So I don't know actually who put chief. That was probably the family members who put chief. So his dad, Andrew John Colbert, from Dumfries, Scotland. And look where he passed away, guys. San Juan, Puerto Rico, supposedly, right? I don't know if they got mixed up with the Carolina, San Juan, but if there is a Carolina, and all the Puerto Ricans out there can verify what he passed away in Puerto Rico. All right, why you change your thumbnail now, man? Like, hey, and also don't spam the. I'll time you out quick, fast too, man. How come out of everybody that was talking, I'm coming at you? It's for a reason, man. And I just want sometimes you guys to be mature and take accountability for what you be saying and doing, and you know your intentions when you come here and start spamming certain things that have nothing to do with what we're talking about. All right, thank you, man. My bad too, if that's the case. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. No cap. All right. Andrew Colbert, Dumfries ended up in Puerto Rico, so we know where the Colbert, Colbert, Scottish. He married a Chickasaw woman, Dorothy Mimi. I have family members we call Mimi, just like this, Vernon Colbert. All right, so this is probably not her. This is what years is this? 'Cause we're talking about 1705. That doesn't look like a 1705 document. White. Yeah, that's definitely. This is not Rockingham. What years is this? This is definitely not. This is typed up and everything. This is not from 1700, so that's not her. So again, these are hints. You gotta hit yes and no to the bad hints. Like Luke Colbert, Dorothy. This is not her either. And just because I see Oklahoma Indian Territory, I'm not just gonna add it. These documents are from the 1800s, guys. We're talking about somebody who was born in 1705 and passed away supposedly in 1737. That's not her. And that's Lou. Who's Lou? Okay. So that's what we got. Because these are not good. Stuck kind of with her. Mimi, Vernon Colbert, Chickasaw Nation. Okay, going back. Everything does not lead back. All right, man. Okay, man. I'll let you go spam another. Go spam somewhere else, bro. Like don't this is what I just said that right in the beginning. I'm gonna tell you again, we don't generalize here. Everything does not go back to so-called Moors, whatever you mean by that. And if you just mean dark complexion people, then why are you using more for like this is like you're generalizing, bro. You're not being specific. And this is what I'm trying to show you guys that there is details, there is specifics, there is a complexity to genealogy. We all this, we the ancient one, we the Moors, we don't do that here. We who, man? We who, man? Everybody's we is not the same, man. And if just because you're liking and you're new to my channel and maybe you just typing without, hey man, you don't do that here, man. Catch up to the presentations, man. Catch up to the presentations. So going back down, now I'm taking long. Sorry guys. So on the Colbert side, you saw where it ended up. All right. And then on his mom going down a little bit, Silas' second great grandmother, Sofa Hoya Na Hetali from the Chickasaw Nation. And then for her dad, we got Burl Perry Ishtanaha Minta Hoya, Alabama, 1695. And oh yeah, I remember this now. His dad, Burl Perry's dad, Fonny Mingo Squirrel King, a famous king. Let me see. I think I got something on him. Thought I did. Oh, here we go. Fanny Mingo, the Squirrel King. Look at that. 1688. Chickasaw leader. New Savannah. This is genie.com. Chickasaw male child was born in 1688. There are no written records of his parents or his youth. He would become known in history as Fanny Mingo, the Squirrel King. Fanny Mingo, the Squirrel King. The Squirrel King. Yeah. Chickasaw Nation. And then it says his wife, Sarasuke Okanishi Cornstalk. Oh, yeah. There we go. I'm glad I got this. So now I'm going to show you how Silas Jefferson is related to Chris Brown. Did you guys know that? All right, Chris Brown. Hey, we just did his genealogy the other day. Remember, he was related to Cleopatra, Shawano Powhatan. Remember? You guys remember? He descends from Cleopatra. That's Pocahontas' sister. So obviously, Chief Powhatan, right? So, in one of the lines, through one of her husbands, Cleopatra Powhatan, they had Sarasuke Okanishi Cornstalk, who got with the well, it says Perry here, bro. Perry Aminta Joyas, and eventually goes into the Colberts. Eventually goes into the Colberts, right? All right, I want you to see that. Okay. So Chris Brown related again to Pocahontas. All right, I don't think I haven't added Pocahontas yet, but because I have already heard, I have Pocahontas in so many people's trees. So yeah, um, you guys see related to Chris Brown that way. All right, we just talking about Silas Jefferson, fifth great grandmother Cleopatra Chawanopoatan, and her and his fifth great grandfather Chief Hokolesqua Opechan Stream Winepueshi Sika Hegdukwa Cornstalk Sakim Cornstarch Seneca Corn Planter. All right. So for Fanny Mingo, whoa, we got 14 hints. I didn't have this the other day. They're saying his mom possibly is Catherine Harry, New Kent, okay? Showa, North Carolina. Guys, and I'm gonna tell you right now, what I be finding out a lot of these so-called Choctaw, Cherokees, Chickasaws, Creeks, eventually they go back. A lot of them actually, I've seen a lot of them go back to Virginia and Carolinas and all these places, no, and they end up being Chowans, Catawbas, Eastern Siouans, Rappahannocks, Algonquin, Powhatan tribes, Pamunkeys, like so. Eventually, somehow they got attached to the Chickasaw. They married in, they got classified into that. I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of them do. Now they're saying this guy's Shoe Squirrel, which I bet you he has. And I'm not just trying to, because I'm not trying to make him a European, but I bet you he has a European name. I bet you Fanny Mingo Squirrel King has like I bet you they gave him a European name, or he might be like the others, like we just saw. Half his mom might be the Indian, his dad might be, but we don't know. I'm not gonna say that, because they're saying Catherine Hyrie here, potential mom. So that I wouldn't attach right away. I would have to really go into the story, what we can find. Spiderweb Kurimeo, yeah. Van William, all right. Let's see. Showing Precinct, North Carolina. William Van. Not sure why they got this attached to him, but somehow maybe related to Fanny Mingo. Nathan King. So I don't know why they gave me. See all these hints they're giving me that really don't look like it has nothing to do with Fanny Mingo. So really, we didn't really get anything. So yeah, we're talking about Indian Chickasaw. His mom, I don't know about that. I don't know about that one. Catherine Hyrie. Okay, so I'm not gonna add that one. And again, that was through the Colbert side, right? Yeah, Colbert side, and we ended up with the Powhatans. Powhatan Confederacy, yeah. Regarding Chief Colbert, we got his already. We go back down. We're gonna go into the Weatherfords. Remember all these people, you see how they have a lot of complex ancestry to them, not just one thing. All right, when it comes to her. his mom, Jeffrey, who, remember, these people are in the Dawes roles, Elizabeth Manac and Jeffrey as Indians, straight up Indians, doesn't really explain their complex ancestry. This is what I want you guys to see. Don't just stop there. Like, don't, your last names are coming from somewhere, guys, and don't assume white slave master or that you got baptized that or these are your last names mostly, okay? If you're not adopted, these are these are your last names too. Okay, then the Weatherford side, so we had her dad Charles Weatherford, this was Elizabeth Weatherford's, and I didn't get his parents, but I might now. There's some hints here. So again, when you're doing genealogy, you might start working on it and you might not get hints on certain people, but a week later, a couple of days later, you'll start getting a lot of hints. If you're doing it correctly, if you're adding all the details, if you're being specific, if you're fixing the errors, and you might start getting good hints. Okay? You might start getting good hints. So let's look at this tree right here. It says Sehoy. This is the first Sehoy. You guys can see. There was three Sehoys. And then look, right here, William Red Eagle. And then you got Sam and Betsy Maniac. See how it connects? Among these early settlers were many Scotch traders who established regular trade routes and brought in rice, tar, and other things which they exchanged with the Indians for hides, skins, and pelts. One of the traders, Robert Grierson, raised cotton on his plantation further north in Alabama, and it keeps going. We don't got the rest. But you see, Scotch, huh? You guys already know like what I've shown about the early original Scots and Irish. Come on, so just put two and two together. Charles Weatherford, okay, Alabama. Woodford's Remnants of Creek, that's the book again. He's probably mentioned in here. Let me see. Well, he's in one of these pages, but he's in here. I did see all these people in this book, and that's why we're gonna read it. And Back for What's Mine, this book, definitely something you might want to get when it comes to your family, this part of your family. You know, that book, uh, I'll send you the link. What's up, man? I'll send you the name. All right. So Charles, I didn't get his parents. You guys saw. You don't really have his parents. They did say though that he was coming from Europe and he got with Sehoy. Sehoy the Third, McPherson, McGillery, Winkland. That's a deep name right there. That's a deep name right there. We're gonna open up that line. Sehoy's parents, Lackland McGillery. Remember that I think they were saying Charles Weatherford was, or the Weatherfords was friends with the Lackland. Yeah, we were reading that. So McGillery. So how is he a tuk tak chachi Takashi chief, and he also McGillery? Got to try to make sense for me, please. Help me understand that. So his dad is Captain William. Now we're talking about very prominent people here, guys. William Van McGillery, who came from Scotland, supposedly, right? And then his wife, Janet McIntosh of Kelike, Scotland. Now, I don't know if this is correct because these people were born in Scotland and passed away in Scotland, but probably because Lackland was the one that came from Scotland and passed away in Alabama, so he was the first in his family. All right. Here's the story. Let's read what it says here. I forgot. I have actually a lot of stories attached. So say taken from the book McGillery and McIntosh Traders on the Old Southwest Frontier. Again, I'm taking notes of all these books, guys, and we eventually are gonna read all these books. We're just getting started. I know it's been 7 years, but we're just getting started. You guys understand that the info never stops. It just gets more and more complex, and I just keep finding more and more sources because we're getting more and more specific. Getting more and more specific. McGillery genealogy starts with Farquhar McGillery, who was the sixth chief. He married Amelia Stewart in 1681 and died in 1714. There were six children. Farquhar, the eldest, became seventh chief when his father died in 1714. He married Elizabeth McIntosh, and they had four sons. Anna married Fraser of Farallline. Magdalene married McIntosh of Home. David married Margaret McGillery, and so on. Captain William Ban, who married Janet McIntosh. Captain William Ban and Janet McIntosh were the parents of Lackland. First of all, there were lots and lots of McGillerys in the USA. All right. So it's not always the same family. It's very important. They were all here to do business. Hey, Backfoot was mine. It's all about that money, right? Business, merchants, traders, who the McGilrys, huh? Most of those in the Southeast were in the Indian trade business. So that money, right? Wars and money. First, okay. As early as 1711, there was a Scottish trading post at Tallahassee, now Elmore County, Alabama, and there were several McGillivrys in the country then. The McGillivrys established trading posts at Wetumpka Old Town on the lower Coosa River, later known as Little Tallahassee, and this became one of the homes of Lackland. It is described a very beautiful, fertile, lush land. He is said to have had a large, productive apple orchard. In Creek law, the wife owned all assets and the children. All right, but guess what? His wife owned everything, even though he had all that. When at some point Lackland left the home in Little Tallahassee, his wife Sahoy took possession of all that property. Hey, Will Williams, it's not about love our indigenous, like it's you mean I love my people. I love my people. I'm included in that. Yeah, I love my people, and I actually love people in general. I'm talking about good-hearted people, people who are righteous, people who look for truth, people who are not being evil to others, like hurting others. I love people, man. Yeah, especially my people in the Americas. Yeah, but I also love my other ancestors that came and mixed with my people from here. Just like you guys, right? Just like you guys have the same makeup. So he established a plantation. It says Langland apparently was a quite quick study and became fluent in the Indian language. He established a plantation near Savannah in Christchurch Parish called Vale Royal at one point and was overseen by Benjamin Durant, who married Langland's daughter Sophia. 1756, Langland purchased with Daniel Clark the White House land tract in Augusta, and they had a trading house there. His brother William also came to America with Langland, invested on the Tensar River north of Mobile, and named the plantation Grog Hall. It was abandoned by 1780. The McGillerys were loyal to the British during the Revolution. Langland and William, that means they were fighting against Andrew Jackson. Remember, remember the whole complex history. Some people alien with British, some were the so-called Americans, and the other Indians that were with the Americans, right? They were fighting those Indians too. Savannah and their land holdings. Langland's sister, Jean Roy, married Duncan McGeary, and they had a son, Langland Leopold Jr. This Langland came to America in 1775 and managed the plantation of Lackawanna and William. After the Revolution, Langland moved back to Scotland and never returned to America. And his Indian family, and apparently cut all ties with them. Wow, neither mentioning them nor leaving them anything in his will. He never had other children, but William did marry and had a son named John Langland, whom Langland Leah helped raise. Langland's children were Sehoy II, Hatali Marchant were Sophia, Jeanette, Elizabeth, okay, and McPherson, okay. All these names. You're just talking about the Chatan clan, the Chatan clan, tribe of the cats. Be more clear with you guys. So Lachlan, Laya McGillery, his dad, William McGillery, Janet McIntosh. He's got a deep ancestry there when it comes to Scotland. Prestige, right? Highlander. Mixing in with what? American Indians. You can't tell me, oh, you ain't one of us. Us who, man? You ain't one of us, Kurimeo. Us who, man? When you say us, are you including the McGill, your Scottish ancestors? Oh yeah, I'm not Scottish. I don't think I haven't found any Scottish. You're right. That I know of, right? I don't, none of that. Nothing close to that, really. We got other Europeans in Costa Rica that came, mostly Sephardic Jews and the Muslim Moors, the crypto Jews, and the Catholics, right? From Spain and Portugal, mostly. All right, so this never loaded. My fault. Now we're stuck. You guys still there? Okay, here we go. All right. Let me add that. Creek Indian. And yo, that's what I'm saying. It's yeah, We were related on the chip chat side. Our chip chat heritage. That's a language and a people, kinda, but they're related to the Caribbean Arawak people from South America. Okay, now the internet's kind of acting up, guys. It's kind of getting sucked. Give me a second here, please. They're kind of hating now. They're hating. Hold on. They're hating. Oh, that's not even my tree. Let me go back out. uh, so, I just wanted you to see, guys. So let's go up Seahoy. Let's go up Seahoy tree since we're already here. So Lagland, we already know that's going to Scotland. The McGillireys and McIntoshes, right? And again, there was other McGillireys here, is what he's telling you. Know prominent McGillireys already here established. We know of a lot of famous ones, like Alexander McGillivray. So again, on Seahoy side, we're gonna go up Seahoy side. Marchant. Her dad is Louis Jean Baptiste. Marchant Jean Baptiste from France. Oh, what are we dealing here with, guys? Possible Huguenot. Because Marchant is merchant. Merchant. A lot of these were cryptos. Huguenot. Merchant. Right? Her mom, Seahoy the First, of the wing clan of Otisiapofa. All right? So you see all the mixture, right, that goes into Silas. Now, his dad, they're saying Louis Jean Baptiste de Cortel Camp Marchal, 1690. Oh, no, actually, Jean de P and Amir. These are in France. I don't know if that's the parents. I can't verify it, so I haven't added them. When it comes to Osi Seahoy the First, they're telling me, now they're telling me she's a Nicolas Marchand. They're saying her dad is a Marchand. And now look who they're putting these people at. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, that's not definitely. Let me see it. Oh, no, sorry. I was looking at the wrong things, guys. Sorry. I was looking at her husband's parents. So his dad again, Nicolas Marchand. That's in France. He and he died in Quebec. Died in Quebec. Let me just add that. Okay. Again, these are his fourth great grandparents. Silas Jefferson's fourth great grandparents on his mom's side. Right? French. Marne campaign, France. Margaret Balsot. Balsot. Okay. All right. They had a son named Louis Marchand. He married Seahoy the First, who's the daughter of Chief Tuskegee Otisiapota Seahoy of the Wing Clan. He died in Alabama. I don't know where he was born. I only had names. I only had names and not much. And her mother, Cosa Ponak Mary Musgrove Seahoy. Muskogee Mary Musgrove, huh? Famous. Choctaw, Alabama. We're gonna go up. Now they're saying that Chief Tuskegee's dad is Edward Griffin's Uchi chief. Uchi. Possibly. This is new. I didn't have these before. So this is why I didn't. Okay, this is I think why I didn't add it. Because it says Queens, New York and Westchester, New York passed away. So how does he the dad of somebody that most likely was born in the southeast? So that's why I haven't added that. That's what kind of confused me. But the mom, Lower Creek Indian woman, sister of Chief Brims. So I don't know. We don't have a name. But if we know Chief Brims, we can probably find her. That's some more studying I got to do and research. She's from Coweta. All right. So could this chief possibly be half mixed? Most might maybe. And he's just going off his Indian name right here, and you wouldn't know. His dad might be Sir Edward Griffin, who became a Uchi chief somehow. And then, oh yeah, and then look, they're saying that his wife's has the same parents. So this is why I didn't add these. I think these are like something is messed up with these, right? So I didn't add those. You guys can see. So that's where I got with the Seahoys. All right, the Seahoys. Again, these are all Silas Jefferson's ancestors. Let me see. On his mom's side, did we do all of them? Yeah, we did all of them, right? Going back down, as you guys can see. Now, before we go for the dismount, all right, we're gonna go up two of his wife's trees real quick, right? Because remember, he's an Indian. He's an Indian country. He's on the Dodge Roads. Most likely, he's marrying other Indians, right? So-called. Go up Molly, right? She's a Grayson. Grayson, born in Creek Nation, 1798, Aaron Grayson, Alabama. And her mom, Lucy Davis, Creek Nation, Alabama, right? We're talking about somebody who's being listed as so-called black, right? 1900, I'm not kidding. Oh, actually, look at this. Indian, Native American. This is the 1900 we saw earlier. But I think I did see, like, if there's other census, they'll probably list her as black. But hey, that one said Native American. As you guys can see, we got all, oh, they got Dolly. Hold on. Uh, Dolly and Molly. Yeah, they put D. It's actually M, Molly. Yeah. So Aaron Grayson and Lucy Grayson. Actually, might be Dolly. Oh, Molly, Dolly. See, somebody put both, and then probably nobody knows who the real one is. Probably one of the cards says Dolly, another one says Molly. It's the same person though. It's the same person. Go back to Aaron. 1860. Remember, look, colored, right? So you guys can see Creek Nation, Indian lands. Spouse Lucy Grayson. 1860, being called colored, right? Copper colored. Oklahoma, Indian Territory, Pioneer Historical Collection. According to the above inscription, Aaron Grayson was born 1798 in the oldest inscription we found of earliest birthday in the Creek Cemetery listed there. This is what they're showing you here. And here's in the Dawes Rose with Lizzie Jacobs as a and Tom Grayson. Oh, okay. So this is what another thing I want to show you guys. A lot of these people supposedly they're owned. So it says slave up Tom Marshall. Now is he a relative? Or does he just work for him? When we really talking about slavery, how we think Kunta Kinte. So this is a Dodge the hijack. A lot of this stuff. So these might be other Indians coming from other. This is what I'm saying. They're being freed by the Creeks, but most of these so-called slave owners are Indian themselves. So we're to assume these are all white so-called Indians or related to, or somehow they became plantation owners and they're doing evil things to their so-called African slaves, and that's not the case. A lot of times it's just family, guys. A lot of times it's just work, uh, employer and employee, indentured servant. Because you're the Indian, you gotta serve. Like they, unfortunately, because you might have been born with your mom's status. But here's an allotment of land and Greg Creek Freedman, right? You're giving him land and everything. It must be for a reason. All right, so I just wanted to show you guys. I'm not just. So somebody had. Okay, sorry, I did have his parents. I think I had his parents somewhere. I know I did. U.S. Colored Troops, Aaron Grayson. Lucy Grayson here. So I think I did somewhere see his parents as Quash and Betty. I know. I think the families had that. I wasn't able to verify. Yeah, that's what they had. Yeah, Quash and Grayson with question marks. I ran into the name Quash and these people's and a lot of Indians had this name and these tribes. So I'm like, yeah, most likely. So I added an estimated year to see if I got anything. I didn't get anything else. So we left it at there on that side on the Graysons. So if you're a Grayson, you can see, look, you got people in the Creek Nation here. All right, and that's again his wife's uh, parents. Now going up the Davis line, we got Haley Davis, also part of the Creek Nation. Let me see. I did think I had some stories here that I'm not going into, but let's see. So the Davises as well. If you're a Davis, okay. Doesn't, you know, not trying to generalize, but yeah, if you're in this region and you're a Davis, and most likely we're talking about Creek Indians. Haley Davis, as you guys hear, Tribe Creek. Father Chepon Davis and Martha Davis. So that's all we got on the parents, Chepon. Enrollment category by blood. Not because he's a slave. By blood. By blood. right? By blood. This is Haley. And then his wife Martha, as you see here, she's a Berryhill. So this is what I'm saying. So I know a lot of you guys who know your genealogy and related to these people, you guys already know McIntosh, Berryhill, McGillery. These are all McPherson. All these are all very familiar names to you, right? You see the trend. You see it's yeah, it's all the same families, right? Coweta, that's where they are. Berryhill is her dad. So we got Davis, and now we got Berryhill. And again, those were the parents. We didn't get past them. We don't know where they were born. We don't know what tribe. Not necessarily have to mean they're Creek. You know, they could be coming from the East Coast too and been enslaved and freed by these people right here, whoever they were working for or whatever, or even if it's family. So on Martha's side, who died in the Creek Nation, most likely is an Indian. She is in that role. James Berryhill is her dad, and then we got Lok Shokotet. So yeah, her mom was an Indian. Then we got James Berryhill. All right, most likely coming in carrying the Berryhill name from somewhere. You know, Berryhill. You know, that's coming from Europe somewhere, guys. Let's see. Hold on. Berryhill, English, Irish. The name Berryhill is rooted in the ancient Anglo-Saxon culture. That's all I gotta say. Ancient, not modern, not modern. Ancient. So let's not talk about modern people. You know, you're talking about modern things. So okay, that was Molly. That was his wife. Look, that's as far as I got though. Not as prestigious as his genealogy, right? Then he had another wife, right? Which was Margaret Maggie Cowtom. And because of just the name and everything, I decided to do her genealogy. And her dad is a famous Indian, Cowtom. And I found out that he was born, that people didn't know whether he was born in Alabama or Florida. But then I found out that his dad is possibly a Bowlegs. Now, you guys know, if you know the Seminole, famous Seminole chiefs, Bowlegs, right? That's Florida. And then he's McFarland as well. Why is he a McFarland? Because according to the story, his mom is from Ireland. She's a McFarland. Ireland, ended up in Pennsylvania, but his dad is Pompey Olegs. And I did see the Pompey name and a lot of those Indians in that area, but I wasn't able to find, you know. But here you go. Pompey, Oklahoma Indian Territory, Dawes Census, Pompey and Laura. There. Pompey. So a lot of that came from a lot of the families. That's where I got that. And I kind of got stuck there. I'm not getting good hints. On this side, when it comes to Cow Tom, so he's half, remember. So we're talking about, this is what I'm trying to show you guys, right? His mom, in this case, she might have been an indentured servant, you know, coming in. And then his wife, Cow Tom's wife, is Amy Perryman. Again, another prominent family of the Creeks. And a lot of so-called black folks carry the last name Perryman or Perry, and they know they're Indians. Very prominent family. Her dad is Moses Atayahihi Perryman, the Creek Nation, born there in Alabama. The mom, Katie Elsie Harrison. And I think I did have a lot of stories for you. Let me just make sure. You know, I was reading a lot on these people. Maybe not here, but outside of here, like when I was looking through the history of these people, right? So here, let me see what it says. It says the Perrymans of Oklahoma. The Perrymans, chief of the Creek Nation, is in Alabama, and tribal chiefs of the Indian nations in Oklahoma were noted in the history of the Indians in both states. Benjamin Perryman, Stik Chakome, all right, that's one of her ancestors, we're going to see, founder of this family, had been a tribal town chief of prominence among the Creeks in Alabama and was an adherent of the McIntosh faction. The what? Indians who have a McIntosh faction, okay? Yeah, a whole Creek Indian faction named McIntosh. All right. The assassination of Chief William McIntosh of the Lower Creeks at his plantation home on the Chattahoochee River near Carrollton, Georgia, in 1825 caused the withdrawal of many of his adherents to the old Indian territory. Among them were members of the Perryman family. Benjamin Perryman is noted as a signer of the Treaty of February 24, 1833, made with the government at Fort Gibson. He and Polly McIntosh represented the Creeks at the conference held at Fort Gibson, September 2nd, 1834. He was born in Georgia about 1755 and brought his 6 sons and 2 daughters with him over the Trail of Tears in 1828 to the Indian Territory where they settled. Children: Samuel Perryman serving the Creek War, and so on and so on. Under General Jackson, all right. Under Andrew Jackson, look, the Perrymans fighting with Andrew Jackson. And his removal of Indian territory, joined the McIntoshes in an address to President Jackson asking for relief against the raids of the wild Indian tribes on their border. We just read about what was going on, right? These people getting raided by a lot of the other five civilized tribe members and Iroquois and other people, Cherokees, so called, right? We got a whole background to this now, and we're gonna keep reading that article with Andrew Jackson, so we can have all the background. This is what I'm saying. Like, we don't have just one-sided stories. So these people who you guys see, most likely, black folks are allying with Andrew Jackson against Cherokees, right? So Moses Permy was the father of Joseph Moses Permy Atakashi, who became chief of the Creek Nation. So that's one of her ancestors. That's one of her kids. He died at Choska in 1866. Joseph Perryman was born at Choska in 1833. He entered Tallahassee and studied for the Presbyterian ministry and was licensed to preach in 1860. He enlisted in the Confederate Army August 9, 1861. Our 1st Creek Regiment of Mounted Volunteers, McIntosh. This regiment was engaged in mainly protecting the border from raids. He was promoted to first lieutenant and joined with other officers of the 2 Creek regiments in a petition to President Davis from Camp Stonewall, May 18, 1863, for more active service. He remained at Camp Stonewall until the end of the war. So, I mean, it keeps going, guys. This is from the book Historical Southern Families, Volume 2. Like, this is books we haven't even got into, guys. This is what I'm saying. Because, again, we're going to get more and more and more and more specific. In the last 7 years, we're just waking up. We're taking a journey. We're realizing there's a whole bunch of lies to history. But we got to start getting specific. We got to let go of stereotypes. We got to evolve with this learning. You got to empty your cup and relearn new things and be ready to relearn some more new things. Always. But it's getting more solid. The foundation is becoming more and more solid. I hope you see that. All right, so it keeps going, many pages as you guys can see, and I got that saved under him. So this is official history, guys. This is what I'm saying. Here they are: Moses Perryman and Katie Harrison, Lucy Crossan, the daughter. They got a son named Tecumseh. Look at that, Tecumseh Perryman. So yeah, when I was doing all this, like, this is the stuff I had to add. This takes a long time, adding all these relatives, all these records, one by one, looking through all the hymns, verifying. All that takes time, guys. Right? That's why I was trying to hurry these days when I told you I was gonna do the Silas that day, 2, 3 days ago, and I didn't, because I was still getting new hints and stuff. So again, through the mom, we kind of got stuck there. She's a Harrison, born in Alabama. So, we can only ponder, but you guys have like a lead there, right, on the Harrison side. His dad, again, Benjamin Chief Stick Shakomiko Perryman, and believe it or not, this is what they're saying. Catlin, remember the famous painter, John, his first name Catlin, right? He painted him supposedly, right? This is him. Supposedly, this is Benjamin Perryman, right? Progenitor of the Perryman, right? So it says George Catlin here, Shakomeko, great king, called Ben Perryman. The reason I'm saying is because I have seen, I'm not saying this might not be him, but I have seen different versions of Catlin's painting of the same person. That's all that's is why I'm saying this. All right. But still copper colored. Still it don't matter. Could be really this guy look like he could relate to me. So I'm not saying anything. So I'm just like, you know, don't, because remember they have a stereotype for us to follow. So that's all I'm saying. And yeah, if that's him, not that's all good. And if that is him, I hope all you Perrymans embrace that, embrace that. Yeah. Oklahoma Indian tribes, Benjamin Perry, Creek by blood, and his wife is Lydia Perryman, and that's where we got for her. I didn't. The only thing they had for her actually was Lydia Creek Indian. So I gave her last name because that's his wife, Perryman, right? I don't know her maiden name or what if she even had one, but she was born in Creek Nation, and that's all we know. This was the years, and her name was Lydia. Don't know any more much other than that. She might be in here. Let me see. So, She was white but had been adopted and had grown up with the Creek. She was a sincere teacher. She beloved those trunks and pamphlets. So I don't know who they're talking about here. Lydia Perryman right here. So Benjamin was married to Phoebe Perryman. Phoebe was the daughter of Lydia Perryman and Tallow. That's a whole other Lydia. But Creek Indian is what I got for the families, according to the families. And we got stuck there. Now Benjamin's people, right, who supposedly looks like that, right? His dad is Daniel Perryman, coming out of Georgia. Daniel Theophilus, and his mom is the Indian, supposedly, from the Creek Nation, Mahala, a Creek maiden. And I don't got her parents, and that's where I got stuck. But when it comes to the Perryman side, that chief who Catalin's picture, he's not fully full. He's not full. As you guys can see, going up the Perryman, we get to Prince Edward, Virginia. All right. Mary Lovell, we get to the Lovells, Virginia. Then we got Joseph Lovell, her dad from England. And we got Richard Perryman, who's his dad, Robert Perryman, coming from England. Perryman. And then we got Mary Scott Collins coming from Virginia. Let me see. And that's where we ended up there with the Lovell, the Lovell family coming from England, ended up in Massachusetts. Uh-huh. Then we got the Dixons on this side, Halifax, Virginia, and Jane Warrilow, Virginia. And we got Thomas Dixon supposedly as a parent here for William. And let me see what they're saying. He's coming from England, supposedly. All right. I didn't get that on where. All right. And hey, go ahead and debunk me if you think I'm wrong. Go ahead. I want to be. I want to make sure I'm doing this right. So, but I see where the Indian is right here. Creek Maiden. Daniel Perryman married her. He had Benjamin, who married another Indian. So there's a lot of Indian blood in Katie. No, sorry, in Moses Perryman. Both sides of his family. Okay. And again, that was Margaret Maggie Cowtom McFarland. All right. That was one of Silas' wives. All right. That was he had a lot of wives. And these are his kids, guys. And I mean, you can probably go down. I didn't do it. I can go down but I didn't do it. All right. So related to Jefferson, huh? Why not? Why not? You think that's not? Oh yeah, look at this. Look at this. And I showed this in my I forgot what video I showed this in. But this picture, I mean, where they got the so-called Black Creeks trying to register to the Creek Nation, and they have to go through this whole thing. And look at the gatekeepers. Hold on. Why are they in charge? Look at the discrepancy. And I bet you these are indentured servants who work for the government. Prove me wrong. Well, why are they deciding if these people are Creeks or what Creek or how much blood or whatever? Now look at them back here. They dark skinned, but they look different than them in the front. But these are all Indians. What does it say here? The Creek chief Cow Tom, we just learned about, was born around 1810 along the west coast of Florida. So that's where I confirmed. He survived the Trail of Tears, served as an interpreter between the Creeks and the U.S. government, and earned the title of Miko, or chief, for his leadership of the Creek refugees during the Civil War. In 1816, he served as an advisor during the nation's treaty negotiations with the U.S. government. This treaty, in addition to banning slavery in the five First Nations, I said that wrong. It's like a tongue twister for me. 5 First Nations who were party to it granted full citizenship in the Creek Nation to Black Creeks, so-called. This is what I was saying in the beginning. Why are you calling them Black Creeks? Is anybody calling you a White Creek? Oh, I'm a white Choctaw. Is anybody calling you a white Cherokee? Why are you calling other people by crayon colors? We just saw Silas's genealogy. He had a lot of Indian. Like, who's measuring? Who's measuring really the blood quantum here, and deciding who's more Indian than the other person? And now you're labeling some Black Creeks, but you don't do that with the other people who are White Creeks, knowing damn well they also got a very complex genealogy, but they get to fully say they're Indians and claim and go to these tribes and call and enroll, and then black folks get harassed, they get treated bad, they call it, no, you're probably descendant of a slave that we own. That's the disrespect black folks get. And if any of you are out there listening right now that are part of these tribes, and you're so-called white, and you know what I'm talking about, and now you see how very complex and how wrong history is been taught to us, what are you doing about it to help your brothers and cousins, your sisters, your brethren, your tribe? What are you doing to help your other tribal members to be recognized? Instead of calling them Black Creeks, other than calling them Black Creek, that's my Black Creek cousin. That's my Black Creek cousin. He ain't calling you your White Creek cousin, you know? And I hope you guys are really like, where's humanity? Like, where's your heart at? Like, get over yourselves, and everybody is not the same. Just because you might see an ignorant person who's so-called black say, well, we did real Indians, you're not. And no, you do have the genealogy, he don't represent all black folks. So don't take it out on all black folks. There's ignorant people in every nation and every type of race, so-called race. But we don't be generalizing and judging everyone based on the bad apples. So don't do it to others. Don't do it to a specific people. Okay? Because ain't nothing wrong, and it's very common, right? Thomas Jefferson's descendant reflects on his ancestors' memorial and legacy. Thomas Jefferson's descendant, right? Just like Silas Jefferson is related to him, and he's so-called black, and we already saw Sally Hemings and her kids and all these black folks descending from Thomas Jefferson, a so-called white man, supposedly. Supposedly. All right. Shannon Lanier posed at the Smithsonian National Museum of American History in Washington, D.C. Lanier is a descendant of Thomas Jefferson and Sally Hemings. Okay. What Africans? We've come to the end of the presentation, and I want to ask you straight up, what Africans did you see in Silas Jefferson's genealogy to be calling him an African Creek or an African American, or saying he's descendant of African slaves and Indian Creeks? Where did you see any Africans? And this is not me trying to disrespect Africa or Africans. We're just telling you the truth, and I'm asking you a real question. I'm asking you a real question. What Africans? Facts over feelings. This was episode 18, Genealogical Stories, on Silas Jefferson, aka Ho-tul-ko-micco, chief of the whirlwind Creek Indian. Creek Indian, not a black man, not a Negro. He was a Creek Indian, so-called Creek. We know that's a tag too. He's an Indian. Don't call him anything outside of that. He ain't a crayon color. And what descendants of what slaves did you see? None. None. I'll wait. I'll wait. Zero. Get over yourself. Learn real history. Learn real history. All you Pan-Africans out there still doubting me right now. Believe it or not, people, there's still Pan-Africans probably doubting it, hating. They can't digest this. Cognitive dissonance, and their emotions are like high, sky level, sky high right now. They're going crazy right now, and I love it. I love because the truth hurts, and I love when the truth hurts, because that's realness. That emotion right there is what's gonna free you from your spell, from your mental slavery. Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop the time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Ooh, some say it's just a part of it. We got to fulfill the book. Won't you help to sing another song of freedom? 'Cause all I ever had, yeah, redemption songs. These songs of freedom. Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed the presentation. Thanks for chilling with me on my Shabbat afternoon. Really appreciate you guys holding it down in the chat. There was really no trolls. You guys are really paying attention, interacting amongst yourself. Sorry if they put in a large amount of ads. They be doing that on popular videos. I've noticed because the ad thing kept popping up telling me your viewers are gonna get ads shortly. It kept telling me. So appreciate you guys sitting through those. Any interruptions? If you did get interrupted, just rewatch the video. If you like to support what I do, you can support me on my Patreon page. I have a lot of great books and exclusive videos. I also have my channel membership if you'd like to support me that way. And we're going to have exclusive videos. A lot of my lives are exclusive only. I'm sharing a lot of things there. I'm going to start doing it more and more and more. I'm going to premiere certain videos there first for my members, and then I'll make it live for the regular followers. And, just to give thanks to everybody who supports. All right. And I'm not here to hate on any other YouTubers. I'm kind of over that. Like, I guess, childish. I'm like 42. I'm not like, I am 42. But I don't feel 42. That's why I say like. I stayed at my 20s and 30s, still there mentally. I'm still there. So, yeah. But I'm over that stuff. Like, I hope these other YouTubers kind of grow up. I haven't heard from them in a while. I know a lot of people still talking bad about me and all that, and just talking, thinking I'm trying to do or have an agenda or whatever. They don't watch me. But I hope they're able to mature and get past all that, all our differences, and try to see our sameness. When are we going to start seeing our sameness, right? They told us we were different. They separated us. That's divide and conquer. I hope we can get past that, right? We're going to go out with an anthem. We're going to go out with a real anthem. I want all the Indians in the house to get up and dance, all right? If you an Indian and you know it, and you clearly want to show it, then get up and dance. If you're an Indian and you know it and you clearly want to show it, get up and dance. All right. If all the Indians in the house, yeah, no matter what people say, oh, I'm half this, I'm blood, nah. All the Indians in the house. All right. Shout out to Rob and Dre Beats. Yo, Beats with Bite. Rob and Dre. Shout out to my boy Rob for, sending me the beats, showing the love. And actually, I know he's gonna enjoy this, so I'm gonna tell him. I don't think he was here, but if he was, I don't know. I didn't see him, but this is a lot of his family. When it comes with the McGillrys, the McIntyre, a lot of the Creeks. He's a straight Indian, and Rob knows his history, going back to Star Mountain, coming out the caves in Mexico. Star Mountain, his people, who ended up so-called Creeks, Muskogees, right? So-called, and then he knows his Highlander ancestry as well. His Irish, Scottish history. This is what I'm saying. It's deep, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Get ready to dance. Get ready to dance, man. We got the anthem coming on. It's literally called the anthem, all right? Much love and respect. Pura vida, mi gente. Wow. Yeah. Wow.